Hey guys, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to how Demetri fell off in Cobra Kai season 6. Okay, interesting. Not wearing glasses today, just didn't feel like it. But yeah, so we're going to be reacting to this video. If you guys want more Cobra Kai reaction videos or even more Cobra Kai discussions or any reaction videos in general, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Notification bells. And yeah, let's hop into the video.
After witnessing Demetri take down my glorious King Hawk, today I wanted to sit down and talk about Demetri's character over the series and see how he went from the biggest
definitely isn't
to one of
biased.
the most overconfident students in Miyagi-Do.
Okay.
Let's break down his character and see what happened. Now, Demetri's story starts off in season 1 where we see him being okay with settling as a nerd and getting bullied. We see this as he tries to encourage Miguel to give up on karate and say how he signed away the opportunity to get with any girl before college by sitting with him. He sees himself as the nerd, and unlike Miguel and Hawk who want to change this part of himself, he instead accepts who he is and resorts to non-violence. Even after Johnny tried striking some discipline in him, he believes that he'd look stupid for going back and giving him his money, showing just how petty Demetri can be. And after trying to strike first at Yasmin and getting instantly turned down, really just be in the background being the funny character. He would consider joining Cobra Kai after seeing the idea of him being protected by his friends and Miguel winning the All Valley and getting some of the glory. But we see that Hawk, who's been given a major boost in ego, starts to switch up on his best friend in order to embrace his Cobra ways. This leads into Demetri reluctantly wanting to join back only to get punched by Kreese and forced to get stitches.
Honestly, with that, I think his character, starts off as a lot of people probably want to, end up sometimes, because a lot of people just want to accept the positions that they're in, and a lot of people tell you to just to accept the positions that you're in. And we see Miguel and Hawk become, different people throughout the series. They become a lot more confident in themselves. They do get ego boosts, and they definitely change in a lot of ways. But a lot of people sometimes strive to be where Demetri was in season 1. Just accepting, where they're at, because they probably feel like they're going to get somewhere later in life, and it's going to elevate them higher to where they'll be able to have the things that they probably want to have that they can't have at that current state. So I don't think that he starts off bad, and of course everybody wants to put in the work and stuff like that. But if you want to be where Hawk or Miguel are at, you're gonna have to be able to put in the work. You're gonna have to be able to flip the script, or you're just gonna have to overcome, which they had to do. But you have to overcome some of the things that are probably holding you back, and Demetri had to learn to overcome, or just stop being a pacifist and start actually actively trying and taking setbacks as they come. Because I guess he probably didn't experience that, since he's really smart, and that's probably like the area that he cares about most, and he just hasn't maybe faced a setback in that area.
He'd then write a bad review on the dojo, leading into Hawk attempting to jump him. And in between this time as well,
this was crazy.
He decides to join Miyagi-Do, being Daniel's first official customer. He's the first official student of Miyagi-Do. As we know, Daniel would get some of the Cobras into his dojo, forcing Demetri and Chris, the guy who was there when Hawk jumped him, to get along and actually form a little friendship. We'd see Demetri slowly learning Miyagi-Do, with him learning to anticipate and even doing better than Sam during the lesson. We know this since he pushed Chris back way further than she did. And after this, and finally gaining some strength, all the while still getting bullied by Hawk, his former best friend, Demetri decides to defend himself by embarrassing Hawk in front of the entire school, showing that Demetri knows the real Hawk despite him putting up this act. Demetri has been kinda on the uprise while Hawk is spiraling down, which comes back to kick him in the face in the school fight, with Demetri literally kicking him into a trophy case. Granted, Hawk,
which I thought was kinda contrived. Like, bro was literally leveling people in this fight and then just loses to Demetri out of nowhere. I thought that was weird, but
injured and cocky during this fight, but I believe this was intentional in order to show just how different these two are now. They started off as the binary brothers, and now Demetri doesn't even know Eli. All he knows is this Hawk character. Demetri shows the viewer a more realistic approach to joining karate and is actually using it for its purpose. He doesn't like causing fights, but now he's not afraid to get into one if he needs to. He's gained the right amount of confidence, whereas his best friend became full-on cocky. And we see this further shown in season 3.
That was my glorious king.
Break his own arm, as Robbie did kick Miguel, and because Demetri is at Miyagi-Do, he's on Robbie's side.
Honestly, this right here, it changed honestly how I viewed Hawk. Like, I was still like a Hawk fan, but breaking his arm was kind of like insane. Like, oh my gosh, like that was like crazy to me. That was crazy to me. Like he just like broke his arm. And I mean, like you can feel like that part of Eli just kind of snap under like the influence of Kreese. Like at this point, like he literally fully embraced the no mercy. And I mean, honestly, I now love the fact that, you know, his character went through just this level of, oh my gosh, this is insane, to then, you know, being brought super low and then, you know, just where he was now. But honestly, I really feel like awful for Demetri having to go through this. But he still came out the other side as like even better. Ended up like having a amazing girlfriend like after this. So, you know, it's give and take.
Stop to think that Miguel and Demetri were friends too, and he'd even see Hawk befriended former bully Kyler. After this, we see Demetri taking a lot more initiation, with him being the one to get Miyagi-Fang in one room before the house fight starts.
Man.
Luckily, Hawk comes in to help him halfway through, allowing the binary brothers to clean up house and be friends again. Demetri would back him up when Tori tries to threaten him, and we see the two side by side going into season 4.
He won't have to. He's got friends there for him.
Now, at this point in time, the All Valley is coming up, which means only the best of the best are really going to be able to get far, and Demetri is still having a hard time believing he's really worthy of being one of Miyagi-Do's main representatives. We see him dismissing himself and immediately talking about Miguel or getting Robbie back, showing that he does not believe in himself one bit.
Gotta have some confidence,
Demetri,
dude.
like probably most of us, is able to give some really good advice, but not follow through with it himself. And
True.
We see this through his conversation with Eli, who just got done getting his head shaved. And
I think that happens to a lot of people who are like probably super intelligent or probably have high IQs, where they'll probably be able to see like more potential in someone else than, you know, other people do in themselves sometimes. Not saying that Hawk doesn't have a high IQ, because they were both like really smart and they were both planning to get into MIT. But, you know, honestly, with someone who has like a very high IQ, they're probably not going to see like a whole lot of potential in themselves, because they're going to use a lot more logic when it comes to themselves versus with someone else. They're probably going to see a lot more in them than they do in themselves, because they spend like every moment with themselves. So I can understand why Demetri can be like that, because I mean, hey, when you spend all that time with yourself and you kind of understand reality, at least just from your perspective, then you're probably not going to be too high on yourself. You're probably going to even I guess degrade yourself in a sense to not like have yourself be like overconfident or like overestimate your abilities, because you've seen that happen to people, so you don't want to be in that same position, which is understandable.
Because of this conversation, Eli would come back to Miyagi-Do, albeit reluctantly. We see things going his way with Yasmin at prom, and would allow Miyagi-Do to start off strong in the weapons section of the tournament. And we'd see him do well in the qualifier, showing that when he's not doubting himself, he'd actually be a very good fighter. And we see this most of all in his exchange with Robbie, who looks to be a little proud of his former friend, with Demetri being able to block some of Robbie's blows and even throw him into the ground. Daniel would say how Demetri did great out there, giving Demetri that final push of assurance that he himself is a capable fighter. In Season 5, we see reality hitting him even more by getting a summer job, helping Miguel text Sam because they're having relationship issues, and being the guy to help bring Robbie and Hawk together. At this point in the story, Demetri's just kind of in our position. He's done with the stupid karate drama and just wants some peace, and so he'd help them lock in, along with using his past nerd skills to help expose Silver. And he'd finally get his get back against Kyler, with him now having the ego boost Miguel and Hawk had after beating their former bully. By this point, Bro's got the girl, his best friend back, beat his two biggest bullies, and is known in the Valley as one of the best. So
literally,
what's next for the character? Well, unfortunately, in Season 6, we get everything that's led up to this now start to get in Demetri's head. The main reason this happens is because he wanted to go to MIT with Eli since they were kids, but as we know, sometimes your path isn't a narrow line, and Hawk tried explaining that to him. In Demetri's head, this seems stupid considering they've worked super hard for Hawk to now go down and be an idiot, and granted, I'd be mad as well if my friend last minute changed dream schools with me, but at the same time, Demetri, I feel naturally should have let this go. But
I mean, I literally made plans with my friends in like middle school to go to the same college together, and then we were all gonna, be together and, just continue like where we were. We were friends, like all the way up until like literally still friends to this day, literally with all those same people. I mean, not as like close now, but the point still stands. It's like, even though I didn't like hold it over them, or I didn't make like a big deal about it because we didn't follow the same path, and neither did my friends. Like, you have to be able to let people grow, and you can't, hold on to them, too tight. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to, sometimes like let people like go down their own path, because their path isn't going to be your path. Even if you guys have been friends for like a really long time. Like, I literally just got done visiting one of my friends from South Carolina, where I'm in South Carolina too, but she's like further down, and we go to two completely different colleges, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Even though we like planned in middle school to go to the same college together, like it should not matter what other people decide to do with their own, time, and what they want to do with their own future, because there's so much more out there to then like what you've planned, and you have to be able to give people a chance to do that. And I really think that this thing between Demetri and Hawk was kind of stupid, or the fact that he's really the fact that he's holding this over Hawk, or that he has like a grudge against him because he doesn't want to do what he wants to do, is kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you have to be able to let people go, and the fact that he's holding this it's stupid to me. I think
after the past couple of seasons and him believing he's earned his spot as one of the best, he's not going to let this go and instead stands his ground. This even goes as far as Demetri putting Hawk in the same position he did in season 3, saying how does that feel. This shows the shift between Hawk and Demetri's dynamic, with Hawk now being on the more pacifistic side, while Demetri is someone who wants to back up his talk, and so he unfortunately betrays Hawk, almost stealing his spot completely in the tournament. We also see him getting into MIT, which he's not really surprised about.
That's like LeBron getting turned down by the Lakers.
If Demetri already was becoming cocky or arrogant, he now is in his dream school and is competing in the biggest tournament around the world. I think in the next part, we're going to see Demetri go down a similar path to Season 2 Hawk, and we're going to be seeing a different side of the character we've never actually seen before. And who knows, he may show off some techniques that may not prove to be the Miyagi way.
Honestly, I think that with that, I feel like he's definitely going to probably have a similar downfall, or he's probably going to get like leveled at the Saikai Taikai. Like, honestly, if they definitely get into a scuffle, bro's going to get a reality check real quick, because let's be honest, the top 3 fighters in Miyagi-Do, Miguel, Hawk, and Robbie, not in that order. I'd probably switch it around. I mean, only like 2 people I switch around. But yeah, literally, I feel like he's going to get a reality check, and he's going to get leveled. And yeah, so that's going to be it for me in this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys want the full, if you guys want the video or the guy's channel. The link will be in the description. I had to like fix that. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next Cobra Kai video, or even the next video here on my channel. Peace.